Welcome to Big Dick Picks. And no, this is not a dick measuring contest. This is your one-stop shop for all your comedy, sports gambling, maybe some other stuff needs. I'll get to that in a second. But I'm Big Mo. I'm joined here by two other awesome hosts and one terrible host. But I'll start with the two awesome ones. Amesy, he's right here in the other room, in this room with me. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I was gonna have a beer before the podcast, but I decided to go with pure adrenaline instead. I'm feeling it. I've had some great betting luck lately. I bet on.
He
Let's
says
see.
sarcastically.
I thought the Oilers to lose, and then they won 8-1. Then I followed up that bet with a first inning no run, 2-run home run, followed up with a no runs scored for the rest of the game, 2 runs scored in the ninth. Lost a lot of money, but I got my adrenaline, so I'm here.
Yeah, and I listened to Amesy on every single one, so I'm a little salty too. But going to the person that did lose me a bunch of money, EPR, how are you doing?
What a shock! What a shock! What happens? Well, I was gonna say, Amesy, you've been on a pretty hot garbage streak.
Oh yeah, bet on a heater. On a heater.
Yeah, which ironically, the only good bets have been the ones when you've tailed me, which doesn't sound right. So
that's true for some of the time.
I know, kind of weird, but no, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be back. We're in the off season, so we just get to mess around and have some fun. So
yeah, we got some fun stuff planned for you guys today.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one.
I have some nice things cooked up for you guys. You'll be looking forward to it.
Same, yeah. And since no one asked me how I'm doing.
Oh, how are you doing?
Oh, here, wait, let me take it away and ask how you're doing. Big Mo, can you bring up the next segment?
Wait.
Fuck you. First of all, I'm doing great. And you know why I'm doing great? Because I didn't have to mention the terrible other host. He's awful. Not even going to say his name.
Fuck
so
off.
We'll just leave it at that. Yeah,
I'm
there he is.
surprised
There he
Big
is.
Mo came back after his horrible defeat. I was really hoping you'd stay there.
Well, I did bring back someone that might be replacing you, so just be careful what you say there, Big Dick. But no, I do bring up a very important point, and Big Dick did too. The last season ended. We had a great first season. Big thanks to all of our listeners out there that have followed us, from the beginning.
And the guests.
And the guests.
Yeah.
Big portion of our listening base is the guests. So big thank you to them. But no, it was a great season. It ended up great. I wasn't there for the last recap, so I'm pumped to be back. But it's been historic. It's been a historic start to a pod. Season 1's down. What we're going to do now is it's going to be basically the off season. There's nothing to gamble on. So we'll just try and really double down on the humor and the comedy and maybe something else. But we do listen to you guys. We get a lot of feedback on the pod. And there was one that was just way too good that I think we just have to play.
Did we
get
fan mail? Did we get fan mail?
We got some fan mail.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Or what?
I do.
I haven't heard it yet.
I was going to say
incredibly positive.
It is. Yeah, it's probably some of the best feedback we've received. So
Cool.
Here you go.
Index pigs, more like uncultured swine. I thought putting on this podcast that it'd be talking more about Big Dick Ponius, some Smithley the Third, but apparently it's just you guys making dick jokes. Cannot believe there's no historical aspect of this podcast whatsoever. Unsubscribe.
Okay. So we're not going to cater to that, dickhead.
That was one of the stupidest things you've said yet.
We're not going to cater to him, but we kind of are because I'm going to bring on a very special person.
Yes.
He's my other half. My other half in terms of conjoined twins. He's also my lover.
Oh.
So we spent a long time on the beach looking into each other's eyes, And
Talk about
we
flexibility.
actually did come up with this idea exactly. So it's awesome that we're getting feedback from our fans that leads to it. But
Or lack thereof.
I think it's time that we bring on Beef to start talking through some sports history. Beef, welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me, everyone. I'm honored to be here.
Do you have beef with that Englishman? Is that what's going on?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I said, do you have beef with that Englishman? It sounds like he
I have beef with.
he's contradicting what you're all about.
I was gonna make a "Where's the beef" joke, but I'm assuming you've probably heard it before, so I'll save my dignity.
Beef has no beef with anybody. He's a sweet, kind-hearted gentleman who's going to share with us some historical knowledge. But no, Beef, how are you doing? How are you feeling? You ready to be on the pod?
I think so. 3 beers in, but I'm feeling good. A little tipsy.
Nice.
That's
That
what we
sounds
like.
great. Well, since it sounds like no one said it yet, where's the beef?
Okay.
That was the cue in for the historical
I hope-
knowledge to start.
I hope that's the worst joke.
That was the cue in. I was cueing him in.
No. But seriously, we did sit out on the beach in Portugal, and we talked about how we could improve this pod. And Beef has a great idea, and it was all him. It wasn't that posh English dickhead. So hopefully it's not about a water bottle. But yeah, what's the topic today?
For the first topic, I chose the biggest dickhead in sports, Bobby Petrino.
Nice.
Still
That's
coaching.
a good fit for
going
Big Dick
strong.
Sticks. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Bobby Petrino started his coaching career kind of building up the way anyone else would, bouncing around as an offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach until 1999. He was hired to be the quarterback coach by Tom Coughlin of the Jacksonville Jaguars. His first year there, they had the best season they ever had, going 14-2.
Is he the guy
you're
that
right.
had the neck brace, like in all his pictures?
Yeah.
That's him. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's-
All right. I'm on board.
We'll get there,
I know who this is. Yeah. All right.
That's a few years down the road.
Okay.
Hey, we
Bobby's
have
first
this
year when they
segment's
went
over, okay?
Shut up, Big Dick. Yeah, go smoke another dart. Sorry, Beef. Continue.
It's okay, Beef. Big Dick, he's not a very choice cut.
No. Okay.
I'm not going to respond to that. Sorry.
That was awful. Continue, please.
So, if there's any Tennessee Titan fans here, that year the Jaguars went 14-2, all 3 of their losses were to the Jaguars. They were the only team they lost to. Or not to the Jaguars, sorry, the Titans.
When he was the coach of the Jaguars, right?
Yeah, he's the quarterback's coach of the Jaguars. They go 14-2, make it to the AFC Championship game, lose to the Titans for the 3rd straight time. And then it kind of goes downhill for the Jaguars. They go 7-9 the next year. Finally given a chance to be the offensive coordinator, they go 6-10. He decides that he's going to leave and become the offensive coordinator at Auburn, which is fine, a normal decision.
Yeah.
He just didn't tell anyone at the Jaguars he'd taken a new job.
What?
Jeez.
So he just he basically did what the Baltimore Colts did. He just loaded up all his shit in a truck and hit the road in the cover of night.
There was one guy who saw the Colts leave, though. So I don't. Tom Coughlin has never talked to Bobby Petrino since then. He didn't tell anyone. They all found out on the news the next day.
Talk about quiet quitting. That guy was ahead of the times.
Tom Coughlin should have trimmed the fat, gotten rid of him.
Oh my God, Amesy.
Sorry, carry on.
All right, yeah. So he sounds like a giant piece of shit. All right, yeah. This is fitting for biggest dick in sports. I love it.
This is just the start. So he goes to Auburn. They have a decent year. The next year, he gets hired on as the head coach at Louisville. During his first year at Louisville, Auburn is not having a great year. There is talks they're going to fire their coach. So they start having meetings with Bobby Petrino secretly while he's still coaching at Louisville. And it's kind of the gist is if they lose the Iron Bowl, they're firing their coach and Bobby's going to be the new coach. Well,
Okay.
they end up
okay.
winning the Iron Bowl and decide not to fire their coach. And then it comes out that Bobby has been secretly interviewing while under contract with Auburn. When reporters ask him about it, it's not really that big of a deal. Coaches interview for new jobs all the time. Bobby Petrino lies, says, no, I never did that. Some reporters come to him with proof that he was on a private jet that went to Auburn. Lies again. A few weeks later, Auburn comes out and just says, oh, yeah, we interviewed Bobby, but we decided not to hire him.
Did it ever come out why he was lying about that? Like, it's not like he'd be
Because
in
he would get in
trouble.
trouble.
Would
He'd
he
get
be in trouble?
right?
Really?
Yeah.
He did get in trouble. His excuse was he was inexperienced, though he had been coaching for 20 years at that point.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
I'm gonna use that excuse at work for the rest of my career. Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I'm inexperienced. You've been here for fucking 20 years, buddy.
Maybe he just didn't
Because-
take the interview. He just didn't take the interview as serious as he needed to. He's a bit of a goofball.
Oh my god.
Oh, stop.
This is going to be rough. Oh my god.
Sorry, carry on.
Louisville ultimately forgives him though because they were 9-3 and it's averaging 35 points a game.
Fucking right. Yeah, that's all the South cares about. Just
Nice.
wins, right? Am I right, brother? Am I right, brother?
Next year it pays off for them. They go 11-1, averaging almost 50 points a game. It is their best year while he's there. Next year they go and win 12 games, 12-1, 37.8 points a game.
Wow.
This is fairly unexciting. Bobby's killing it. Everyone's loving him. He's the biggest star of the show, but he's not doing anything ridiculous off the field. In 2006, he signs a 10-year extension, committing himself to being Louisville's coach. This entire time, he's been interviewing for other jobs, saying he wants to stay in Louisville. They give him this 10-year extension, and he fully says in an interview that he is committed and never leaving. About 5 months later,
guess that he left.
5 months later, he leaves to become the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
Wow.
I knew he was going south. I thought he was going all the way to Florida State with the tomahawk chop they got there.
I bet
But,
everybody had a cow with
Falcons,
that.
that's pretty good. But yeah, okay, the Falcons.
Wow. So this guy's word absolutely means nothing. He's like, I'm not gonna hit you in the nuts, and then just fucking hits you in the nuts.
Immediately after.
That's a dick move.
Hey, look over there. I promise I won't sucker punch you. Just immediately sucker punches the guy. All
To
right,
put a
so he's
bow
in
in his
Atlanta.
to put a bow in his 4 years, he went 41-9 in 4 years with Louisville, and they
Okay.
had national championship aspirations when he left. Their kicker is quoted as saying, "I'm in shock right now. We're coming off a great Orange Bowl win, and we were all thinking national championship. I didn't think this would happen. He said he enjoyed college football so much. He's a great coach, and we're gonna miss him." Now it should be noted, Bobby Petrino had a little thing where he kind of recruited some people maybe weren't the most responsible off the field. A lot of them left. A lot of them got suspended. Louisville kind of went in the toilet after that season.
Really?
Yikes.
But
Sounds
so
like
he goes to Atlanta.
Yikes.
I believe this is 2007. He takes the job saying it's the best job in the NFL. It should be noted their quarterback at the time was Michael Vick, who has just signed the biggest contract of anyone in the NFL.
I've heard of him.
Louisville's furious that Bobby took
Wait, I
up
missed
one.
it. Is he he's the quarterback coach there?
No,
Oh, he's the head coach.
Head
He
coach.
left
Head
to
coach
become
with
the
Michael
coach
Vick.
in
Okay.
Atlanta,
All right.
and coach Michael Vick, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
Louisville is furious. It's not that he had snuck this $1 million buyout out and just went out the back door. He's all excited, all this stuff about how he's going to help develop Vick into this MVP type quarterback. A few months later, Michael Vick is arrested for running an illegal dogfighting ring.
Oh man, he was the coach during that?
Yes,
It was
he had
probably
just been
at
hired.
his house.
No. I wonder if Michael Vick was like on the same wavelengths as Bobby Petrino. He's like, hey, are you doing dogfighting? He's like, no, I'm not doing dogfighting. And his two dogs are like fucking ripping each other's heads off. Like, no, definitely not.
He was supplying the dogs.
Vic went to a school in the ACC, so maybe he was like, I don't want this Louisville coach to have any success, so I'll just Arrested real quick.
Strategic dogfighting.
He called the cops on himself.
Threw away his career just to spite the guy. Brilliant.
Excuse me, 911. You guys want to come bet on this shit?
So yeah, this is a bad situation in Atlanta. It is made worse by like a month before Vic's arrest. They had traded away their backup quarterback, Matt Schaub, who went on to start for a long time for the Texans. Because he's gone and Vic's gone, they have to rely on some real, high-scoring QBs like Joey Harrington and Byron Leftwich.
Michigan legend Joey Harrington, the
I'm
quarterback
sorry,
the quarterback for the Detroit Lions the first time they went 0-16. It's a great guy.
Yeah,
Wow,
this
he
is
sounds
a
like he's a stud. Yeah.
bad start. It's not made any better by within a few weeks of training camp starting. Falcons owner Arthur Blank is getting phone calls from veteran players asking him what he has done, asking him if he knows what he has done. Not a good start. But he does have a strong supporting coaching staff. He has 2 future head coaches as coordinators. Hugh Jackson is the offensive coordinator. We can pretend it's a better name.
Hugh Jackman?
And Mike's Hugh Jackson.
Oh,
Sorry,
damn
Hugh
it.
Jackson.
Hugh
No,
Jackman.
you said it correctly. I'm
Wolverine.
kidding.
Yeah. Literally had
I'm sorry.
Wolverine.
I believe that I said Hugh Jackman, the better of the two.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Win more games than Hugh Jackson as a head coach.
All right, we're just gonna believe that it was Wolverine standing
Yeah.
there. So continue. Yeah, Wolverine is
and then
the
Mike
assistant
Zimmer.
coach.
Mike Zimmer is the defensive coordinator, so he has 2 assistant coaches that are future coaches, like head
And if
coaches.
you've seen Mike Zimmer, I mean he's pretty much Wolverine.
Who
guy.
did Mike Zimmer head coach for?
He's a coach
He's
for the Vikings for a long time.
He was the coach of the Vikings when they went to the NFC Championship game in 2017.
He's
Okay.
like 70.
Oh yeah, that's that guy that was dating the model, and then they're like on the beach, and you're like, what the fuck? Like what? Why is this guy walking around with her? Like,
Money.
Crawled
I guess
Bill
I know
Belichick
that.
could run.
yeah.
I just know him from his poor offensive schemes, but maybe that's just what he looked like against the Packers defense. I don't know.
Just so you know, Beef
Off the
is a
back, let's
Vikings
go.
fan. So
I am a big Packers fan. I am a very big Packers fan.
It's okay. It's okay. You can't correct for taste. It's all right.
Unless it's well seasoned. Am I right? No?
I've
That
had
was-
food from
There you go,
Wisconsin.
Izzy.
It's probably not well seasoned.
I'll back that
EPR, you gotta stop making jokes about this guy's name. Let's take this seriously.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
all right. So we're here. He's there with Wolverine and Mike Zimmer.
Old
Who's
Wolverine.
basically Wolverine.
Yep.
Two
Two Wolverines.
dates supermodels and used to coach the Vikings. Okay. All right.
So he has some strong support staff. He unfortunately doesn't listen to either of them.
Wise.
The season
Very
starts.
wise.
And they get off to a very hot 1-5 start with Joey Harrington as the quarterback.
Yeah,
Shocking.
winner.
Now, after a 1-5 start, Bobby Paterno decides he needs a change and benches Joey Harrington. Just like he did with the Jaguars, he didn't tell him.
So wait, he just showed up to the game and was like about to go on the field. He's like, nah.
He showed up to practice, and someone in the media said, "Hey, Joey, how are you taking the benching?" Joey said, "What benching?"
Oh my god.
It's like, do you guys watch that Hard Knocks clip where the guy found out he was cut because his key card didn't work and didn't work anymore?
Bobby Petrino is literally that meme as a person. Like,
I was thinking about that the first time I went to my current job because there's a big glass door like that. I'm like, man, if my key card doesn't work, that means they just canned me off the bat. It did work. I'm still there, but
It's like Milton from Office Space. He just shows up, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll just quit paying him. See how long it takes him to notice."
but my stapler. All right, sorry, we're really derailing your story here, Beef.
No, it's all good. So the season's not going well. They're 3-9. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones calls Arthur Blank and says, "Hey, how would you feel about my alma mater, Arkansas, hiring Bobby Petrino as their head coach?" Arthur Blank just straight up tells him, "No, we do not approve. We do not want that to happen." Rich McKay, their general manager, comes out publicly and says, "No, that's not happening." After this, they decide, "Hey, we should talk to Petrino, have a sit-down meeting with him." And from this meeting, Petrino reportedly looked Blank dead in the eyes, shook his hand, and says, "Don't worry, you have a coach."
I've seen this story before.
Less than 24 hours later, they are losing 34-14 to the Saints. Is not going well. And then, still within a few more hours, still less than 24 hours after telling the Falcons that they had a coach, he is being announced as the next coach at Arkansas.
Oh,
Arkansas.
my gosh.
Man,
In 24
Arkansas?
hours,
That's pretty much Nebraska. What the heck?
What?
Arkansas.
Arkansas, yeah. AR Kansas, yeah.
So within
Wow.
24 hours, he goes from definitely the Falcons coach to definitely Arkansas's coach, and loses a football game in those 24 hours.
Wow.
That
How have I never
handshake.
heard this? I feel like I should have heard this.
This guy must have some incredible charisma.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Looking
Yeah.
at him in the eyes. Hey, you've left your last 5 jobs. Why do we want you? Because I'm a winner.
But can we trust you?
Entire story.
Absolutely.
Its entire
We need a-
story doesn't feel real.
We need to make this guy our president,
His
so he can
charisma
just
score
deny everything.
Off
Yeah,
the charts.
yeah. Oh wait.
There's a lot of controversy around him leaving. He didn't tell any of the coaches he was leaving.
As
Really
you do.
tell the owners he was leaving. And in order to tell the players goodbye, instead of saying, like, having a meeting, he leaves a 4-sentence note in their lockers that doesn't include the player's name. It just says, "Dear Atlanta Falcon players," and his signature is stamped on the bottom.
He's a
He
busy man.
prints off this note.
Put it on a Hallmark card.
Oh man.
That's
Wait,
beautiful.
do you know what this letter says?
Yes, I have it here. It's
Yes.
Atlanta
Oh my
Falcon
God.
players. Out of respect for you, I'm letting you know that with a heavy heart, I resign today as the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. The decision was not easy. It was made in the best interest of me and my family. My desire would have been to finish out what has been a difficult season for all of us. Circumstances did not allow me to do so. I appreciate your hard work and wish you the best.
But there was cheering in the street.
He had the
Wow.
audacity to add "with respect to you." Like, what?
I heard EPR's mom wrote him a note pretty similar right before she left on her Harley.
It actually also had a stamp at the bottom. That's really peculiar. Huh.
Dear one of my children, I'm sorry I'm leaving. It's in the best interest of our family. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Dear,
EPR's
dear
mom.
child number 2.
Wow, what a note. Oh
So
my
where-
god.
So where is he now?
He's Arkansas Razorback. My
Ah.
favorite line in the note, though, is "Circumstances did not allow me to do so," as if he didn't control the circumstances of him leaving.
Maybe he's actually being controlled by someone else, and it's just like a sick joke in his entire life. He's actually cursed. He's not allowed
It's
to.
'cause-
He can't be happy.
This is,
It's because he had
Someone's-
Wolverines on the bench.
He couldn't say no to those big foam pig hats.
True.
he heard there were hogs.
some of the quotes after this news breaks from the players are pretty good. Lawyer Malloy famously goes to a press conference after this with the note in hand, and he holds it up for the media to see, but he has crossed out Bobby Paterno's name and wrote "coward" in red letters. Then went on to say, "I feel like I've been sleeping with the enemy for the last 8 months." Joey
Yikes.
Harrington, who had been benched, came out and said, "That's what I think brought up all the anger. I have to talk to him about family, about team, about commitment, and to come in here, have a form at your locker. That's not how a man acts." The
Wow.
best quote comes from defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, 3 years after this had all went down, in an interview was asked about Bobby Petrino, and his quote is, "He's a gutless bastard." Quote that, "I don't give a shit."
Just bluntly calls him
I thought he
out.
was gonna quote. Thought he was gonna quote saying, "I'm gonna give him the claws."
Man, that's a whole new level where people are just like, yeah, tell him he's a piece of shit through the media.
Call him the
Fuck
pick of the
this
week.
guy.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
That's crazy.
I
If you're
still have
feeling
not
bad
heard
for
about
Atlanta,
Yeah.
next year they drafted Matt Ryan and ultimately did fine, but they were not feeling good.
Damn. And he is still the head coach of Arkansas?
No.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's not
about to
done.
start.
Oh, okay.
We're about to start on his Arkansas tenure, which is where it gets actually crazy.
It hasn't been crazy yet. Okay. Buckle up.
So Arkansas gives Bobby a 7-year contract that pays out $3 million a year. The
Divide that.
media absolutely hates his guts. But Arkansas went not very good the year before. Like, they were okay, but they were like wanting to improve. His first season is not great. He goes 5-7. You know, the media obviously hates his guts. A lot of worry. Arkansas that it's not going to work. The next year they get back on track. They go 8-5. Things are starting to look better.
And what year is
2010 they go 10-3.
2010.
Lose to Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
In 2011, they have their best season under Bobby. Go 11-2. Win the Cotton Bowl. Vibes are high.
Mm-hmm.
2012 starts. Bobby is involved in a motorcycle accident. He tells the media he was the only one on the bike. It's not a big deal. This is where the neck brace comes in, right? Like, this is the picture of him in the neck brace.
Yeah. This is where I know him from. Yeah.
The police come out and say, well, actually, there was a passenger on the bike. Which, at that point, Bobby admits there was a passenger.
Well, he's never lied before.
No.
Never
record.
once.
Yeah.
Honest Abe down in Arkansas. So this passenger on the motorcycle was 25-year-old Jessica Dorrell. Only 1 month prior had been hired to be the University of Arkansas's player development coordinator, despite being like woefully underqualified. She had previously been a volleyball player at Arkansas, which is where she had met Bobby. They started having an affair. So Bobby got his mistress a job coaching the football team, and he is like giving her tons of gifts. Like, he's giving her $20,000 payments and for boat rides.
From Arkansas, smart man. There you go.
And probably the most shocking gift, he's getting her wedding presents. Not to him, because he's married. He is married with 4 kids. This mistress he has is engaged with another university employee.
Could you imagine the conversation at home where his wife's like, "Who is that girl?" And he's like, "She's nobody. Don't worry about it." And she's like, "But every time you've said that to every other reporter, it means the opposite." And he's like, "Not this time, babe. Don't worry." Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
The least trustworthy man on this planet.
Was she okay in the car accident or the motorcycle accident?
She survived. Actually, I think she got like less. Like, Bobby got the worst of it. Like, he was the one with the neck brace. He had.
Good.
I have it written down here somewhere. He had like
cone
4
of
broken
shame.
ribs, a cracked vertebrae, and numerous abrasions.
Damn.
I didn't
sounds
find
like
her
he deserved
injuries.
it.
Yeah, Arkansas goes in, has to do an investigation because their coach was just caught having an affair. Bike, they determined that Jessica Durrell's hiring. Like, she had been one of 3 finalists out of 159 people that applied. Sorry. Bobby had tried to like bypass university policies that like require so many days to go by before interviewing to just hire her early. He had obviously never disclosed the relationship with the university.
Of course.
And then there's the whole
Right,
thing
just
about
disappeared in the middle of the night with her and never told anyone. sounds
And
sounds
then
like his MO.
there's the whole thing about her being engaged to another member of the athletic department. So Bobby gets on administrative leave and then is fired 9 days later.
So let me understand this. She was also in a
Wow.
relationship?
Yeah, it was a consenting relationship between two adults. But she was also engaged.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
someone.
She had a nut. So okay, they were both cheating. Okay.
The
That motor-
real twist on this story is she turned out to be a cop in Tennessee and just got gang banged by everyone in the department.
Oh gosh. That
No, that's
motorcycle.
not true. That's not true. It's not.
That motorcycle accident sounds a lot like karma happening. I don't feel so bad about this.
I looked this up before coming on. This is probably the most shocking part. Bobby Petrino's wife didn't leave him, and
What?
the mistress's fiance still married her. Like after all this, like they still
What?
not everything worked out for
Wow.
them, kind of.
There's some
Okay.
weird things that go on there down in Arkansas.
I think I've
Dude,
solved it.
honestly, that cop that did the gangbang thing in Tennessee, she's still with her husband too. Like, what the fuck is going on in the South? And sorry, BR, what did you solve?
I think I've solved what's going on here. Clearly, behind the scenes, we already know Wolverine was on the field. Clearly, Professor X is pulling the strings here. He's telling everybody what to do. It's
Oh,
mind
yeah.
control. That's why they stayed together. Case closed.
That Bobby
Isn't in,
Petrino
like,
is
the,
Professor X.
Isn't in the X-Men cartoons, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but don't like Wolverine, doesn't he have doesn't he and Cyclops have sleep with the same woman? Like, isn't that a thing? Bobby Petrino, Cyclops is
Yeah. Well,
Hope so. I'm gonna look this up now.
and here's the best part: the motorcycle accident is the moment where he became crippled, and then he goes to a wheelchair.
Oh, I was about to say, you know, how Google tracks everything you do because they do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what comes up my feed after Googling is Bobby Petrino Cyclops. You know, just-
Oh yeah. They both hooked up with Silver Fox. I just googled it.
No,
yeah,
it's,
my
Jean-
Google
it's
feed is
Jean
gonna be
Grey.
fucked up after
Jean
this.
Grey.
Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jean Grey, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Quick sidebar. I saw the most fucked up video the other day. It was these kids at the zoo and a bunch of gorillas are like literally fucking, and like the one gorilla crawls forward while another one's like cranking himself off and like does it like a full human. And I was telling my wife about it, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's crazy! You got to see it." And then I got fucking flagged, and it was like, "What are you looking up with gorilla sex and children at the zoo?" And I was like, "Oh no!"
You're on a list now, buddy.
You showed your
And then you
wife?
just type in TikTok, and it comes up first result.
Wow.
Oh, it's toxic. I thought you started off with kids and gorillas in the zoo, and I went, I've heard this
No.
story before. Harambe did
I
not
did- I
end
did.
well.
I did bad school trip at the zoo gorilla sex. It was like, do you mean looking up child porn? If you do, that's fucked up. And I was like, no. I just type in TikTok. It's like, oh, this is what you meant. Like,
Bad trip at the zoo, comma, gorilla sex. Hey, you didn't think anything bad could happen there?
You're more clueless than the
Are you
staff
kidding
hiring
me?
Bobby Petrino here. Jeez.
It's gonna work out.
all right, enough spotlight on me here. Let's go
Back to the
real
story.
piece of shit here, Bobby Petrino.
This
Yes,
Spotify
back to the story.
podcast
So
episode.
you showed your wife
Bad
this
trip
video
at
of a
the
gorilla
zoo.
jerking off.
Hey, she fucking thought it was cool too. She was like, "Whoa, they're just like us." Like,
You're gonna click on this podcast. It's gonna be called "A Bad Trip at the Zoo," and you're not gonna know why until
I am
right now.
I am titling it that right after. I promise you.
nothing about sports history or anything. Just bad trip at the zoo.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
Back to the real reason you're listening. History.
All right. Because he was fired for misconduct, Bobby Petrino did not see a dime of his $18 million buyout.
Fair.
Believe it or not, after this controversy and 1 year off, he was able to get a head coaching job again
Oh,
at
buddy.
Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky, probably the smartest school to be like involved in the story, just fully expected him to leave and wrote in the contract if he leaves, he has to pay them $1 million.
Oh,
So they
nice.
actually made $1 million off of Bobby Petrino being a piece of shit.
Because he left?
Yeah,
Well
he
done, Western
coached there
Kentucky.
for a year. Then he leaves and takes another head coaching job. Does anyone want to guess where he took another head coaching job at?
Back to his
Arkansas?
roots?
Florida State.
Louisville. He
Louisville.
goes to
Yeah, one we forgot.
He's got back with his ex. That's great.
So if you're ever sitting there and you're wondering, man, I wonder why Lamar Jackson didn't have more success in college, Bobby Petrino was his head coach the entire time he was there.
Didn't he win the Heisman?
He did win the Heisman, but he
feel like
topped out
that's-
at 9 wins.
Mm.
Probably didn't recruit that well outside of him because their coach was known for leaving.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
So yeah, he's there the entire Lamar Jackson time. Year Lamar Jackson leaves, they absolutely crater, go 2-10. He's fired halfway through the season. This is a really rough year if you're a Louisville fan. This is the year Rick Pitino and like the basketball program got like the hammer dropped on them, and
Mm-hmm.
they lost their head coach. Football, basketball, and their athletic director were all fired in 1 year.
I remember this.
Wait, but before you finish, we got to play the classic. So I assume that he leaves Louisville to go to Arkansas.
Actually, Missouri State.
A curveball, a U-turn.
This dude's LinkedIn is insane, man.
He was at Missouri State for 3 years.
Wow.
No postseason success in the FCS where they play the championship series.
Mhm.
They didn't win any of those. 2023, he becomes the offensive coordinator for an extremely disappointing Texas A&M team. That was last year, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff coming out about how they had all their recruits and everyone was mad that they sucked.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yep, they had the number one overall recruit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had the number 1 recruiting class in the country.
Yeah,
And I think they won 7 games. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up.
And just drove their season off the road with their mistress on the back.
classic.
And so kind of like catches up to modern day. In November of 2023, Bobby Paterno took the offensive coordinator job for Arkansas.
I knew it.
There it is.
I knew
Currently
it.
coaching.
It's
At
like
Arkansas.
the classic Joseph Campbell hero's journey. You know, it comes in a circle back to Arkansas.
The odds on that were minus 1,000.
So,
We will have
yeah.
a Bobby update at the end of the pod if he does ever go back to Louisville. So be prepared.
Wow.
He won't be back with the Falcons. He is very publicly blackballed from the NFL. So he won't be going back there. But Auburn's still on the table.
Yeah, that's honestly crazy. I can't believe that I didn't know all of the intricacies of all of the
Yeah, I
Just
knew his
absolute
name.
ghosting
I didn't really know
skill.
anything about
Yeah.
it, though. More, not the knowledge has been gained. So
Yeah,
take that, you stupid English guy.
Yeah,
Before I
we're
started
cultured.
researching, learned that, like I knew about the Louisville thing, I knew about the Falcons thing, I knew about the Arkansas thing. I did not realize that there was stuff before it that like he
His
very
history
clearly
goes
has a
deep.
track record of this.
That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't
Oh my
know
God.
any of that. Wow.
So this, I mean, Beef, is that the end of it? Like it's just like he's there
That
now,
touches
and like
us up to modern day. That
He's
is
a pig,
okay.
everything.
literally.
So I'm gonna tell a little personal story here that this totally reminds me of. EPR was there, and hopefully this guy doesn't sue me for telling this, but we'll just call him Joe Schmo on here. But we hired a broadcaster that I had like a bunch of warnings about when I was working for a college hockey team. And everyone was like, yo, don't hire this guy. I talked to him like 4 times. I was like, damn, he seems like he's got his shit together. Long story short, he doesn't show up to one of the games. He shows me a scan of his brain and said, "You didn't know I was disabled? I showed you a scan of my brain." And then proceeds to try and sue me, and then leaves and goes off to another college team that they hired him. And then I heard that basically he did the same shit to them, and I tried warning him, just like the other schools warned me. So, sports doesn't really give a fuck.
The old brain scan move. I tried to use that to get free ice cream once. It didn't work.
That's a brain freeze, you idiot.
No, I tried the brain scan move. I was like, here, this is a picture of my brain. Give me a shake. Didn't work.
Since this is a betting podcast and I'm interested in losing you all money, Arkansas is plus 3,500 to win the title this year.
Whoa.
Okay.
A standard
Very
parlay
good.
odds for me.
Do you think that the coach will leave mid-season and that will affect the odds?
Given how bad they were last year, there's a good chance they all get fired mid-season, but maybe.
Lovely.
But
Bobby
think
doesn't
about
usually
that.
stick around for the firing part.
Think about that. With this knowledge now, we could bet on Arkansas to lose a certain amount based on like later in the season.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
What's their over?
They're over under.
Yeah.
win total.
I bet it's low.
Wait, I need to look this up.
This is some metagame betting we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
This is where our informed betting decisions come from. We're just talking. Hey, you guys hear about this giant piece of shit? Whoa,
It's
he's
4.5.
gonna leave mid-season?
They're favored to win more than 4.5 games, but that's what it said out right now. 4.5.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
That's a good
You
line.
do have to remember they do play like Illinois, so they do have some games they might win. But
This is a subclass of betting called Bobby betting, and it's very critical. You
Bobby
listen.
betting.
Bobby's worst season, he only had 3 wins. I mean, granted, he left early, but like, I think they'll cover.
I'm just gonna
We'll
put
see.
$1,000 on it with my bookie, and then just pull up Bobby and just not tell him where I'm going and leave in the middle of the night and crash my motorcycle with my mistress.
We'll bring a couple stories into one. I'm gonna put $1,000 on it with my translator. I'm sure that'll end up well.
Oh no.
Oh man. Well,
Good.
hey, thank you for coming on here.
Yes.
Beef. I think that was
The
probably the most informative segment that we've ever had on Big Dick's Picks.
And just
No,
hilarious. I can't believe I've never heard that. That's actually insane that someone like that should give everybody out there who's currently unemployed the most hope they've ever heard if they're listening to this. If that man can still be employed after that, anybody can be.
Or dismay, that's the person they're hiring. Like,
True.
you're not getting the job.
We
They're
can start a
hiring
t-shirt
Bobby
campaign.
Curno.
You imagine you
Start a
lost
t-shirt campaign. If Bobby can do it, I can too.
the guy who applied to all the schools he went to and came in second, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, Bobby beat you," and he's like, "Yeah, take that, kid."
Yeah, there's a guy out there like Jeff Fritrino, and he's like, "Fuck, I lost another coaching job." Who was it? Oh, it was against Bobby Fritrino. What?
His nemesis. He goes everywhere to try to beat Bobby there first.
Can you imagine looking at a grown man's resume and seeing Bobby at the top and thinking, yeah, this is the guy?
His resume is like 4.5 pages.
You guys remember when Bobby Boucher came back and won the Mud Dogs on the Bobby Bomb?
He tried to shorten down his resume. It's still 4.5 pages. He's like, oh, I only included the head coaching jobs. Sorry.
Oh man. Well,
Cool.
no, I think that was a great segment. Big thanks to you, Beef, and big thanks to Bobby Petrino for being a giant piece of shit. So we can just listen to how big of a piece of shit he is for what has this been 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes?
Yeah, 30 or so. Yeah.
I mean, and you're hitting the high level stuff. I bet we could go way more in depth on how big of a piece of shit this guy is.
Definitely go more granular. I left out a lot of quotes about Bobby.
We might
man.
we might have to do like an end of year update on Where's Bobby, like a segment called Where's Bobby every year.
Every
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, we just started a tradition, boys.
There you go.
Oh man. Yeah, thank you so much, Beef. That was enlightening as well as hilarious.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course. All right. Well, since Beef has headed off, we can kick it into the snake draft. So, Big Mo, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so kind of sticking true to the beef history segment there. We have a very fun snake draft cooked up for you guys. No pun intended with beef.
This is
One
a
last
podcast.
one. He joined in, Amesy.
This is a podcast, Big Mo. Let's keep things serious. Come
Yeah,
on.
be more
What's going on
professional,
here?
you asshole.
Yeah, I agree with EPR.
I promise I don't have any beef with either of you.
Unacceptable.
I think I'm really gonna stew on that one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Anyway,
man.
continue.
All right,
Sorry.
all right. Any more beef jokes? Any more beef jokes?
No, as quoting Bobby, I would never say any more things like that.
I would never say another beef joke.
All right, here it comes.
All right, you guys ready for a beef joke? Yeah.
All right, let's say
Oh,
ribeye to
man.
that segment. Let's move on here. Come on.
Oh, I shouldn't have found that funny, Amesy, but it was just stupid enough. It worked. Okay, the snake draft topic. I have some good stuff, but Big Mo, please introduce it,
I do as well.
and then we'll pick
So-
the order.
Yeah,
I know that we said that we wouldn't cater to that dickhead posh Englishman,
but we've really catered the entire podcast to him.
we're kind of like Bobby Petrino. I'm not going to cater to him, but I'm going to do the entire podcast exactly how he wants it.
So if you do want to call in, folks, we'll probably ridicule you, but then listen to everything you say.
You guys are
what you're hearing here.
Big Mo.
Just something, please. We'll put it on the pod.
Send us something.
Oh yes. Okay. Continue.
All right. So, staying true with having a little bit of a historical segment, this week's snake draft is going to be a little fun with history here. What we're going to do, we're going to go through. If you guys haven't listened, the snake draft starts off. If you guys have played fantasy football at all at home, it starts off with the first pick going, and then it goes down 1, 2, 3, and then the third pick gets the wraparound. So, with the snake draft topic this week, it's going to be what historical figure
Historical.
would be really good at one sport and really bad at another.
Oh.
And I have the order for this. So EPR, you're taking us off here first.
Oh, I have first
Amesy?
overall.
You have first overall. Amesy's got second,
Okay.
and I'm
Let's
in third. Gentleman's third.
Oh
So-
no.
EPR,
This,
what do you got for us?
this is.
Lead us off strong.
this-
strong.
I didn't plan it this way, I promise you, but I have one for that Englishman. With my first overall pick, I have Winston Churchill.
Ah, okay. Again.
What sport is he good at, and what sport is he bad at?
I believe Winston Churchill would be good at playing football, but on the defensive side, probably like a safety, because he's already shown to survive an air raid. He's good against that type
True.
of offense.
I'm good against the air raid offense. That's excellent.
But
Excellent.
I think he would be really bad at tennis because he can only serve twice before being beaten by his opponent.
Okay, that's pretty good. Very, very astute in history there. Nice job.
Thank you,
Very,
thank
very
you.
historical.
There's for
I,
that
so I
posh
went-
Englishman, you prick.
Yeah, fuck you.
Well,
What about? Oh.
what a bottle!
What a bottle.
What a bottle! So I went historical, a little more historical. A little bit more. I went all the way to Achilles. So, he's a real man, Achilles. He's in history. As you know, I'm sure you guys follow the Chariot Premier League that happened in ancient Greece. He was top of the list. Chariot racing, man, that guy had everything. A modern day John Rahm, one would say. Using that comparison because I beat Big Mo with John Rahm earlier this week in golf. But anyway, so yeah, great at chariot racing. But I don't know if you guys have ever watched professional bowling. You know what they do in between sets?
Eat.
They kick back and put their feet up. Put his feet up. What do you know? He's dying. He's dead. He's gonna make it through 2 rounds. He's gonna get killed by his opponent. His opponent's gonna actually drop the bowling ball. His entire body's gonna shatter because it's gonna hit his ankle. The Achilles heel of bowling is being Achilles. So that is that is the negative.
Amesy, I will just say I had Achilles on my list, but you missed the perfect opportunity to say he would be really bad at being either a quarterback last year or a running back because of the Achilles injuries. So
there you go.
I don't know why you didn't pick that one, but personally, that was the one I had on my list.
That being said, I thought about it, but again, it depends what division he plays in. As long as he doesn't play the New York Giants on that fucking terrible field, he might be okay. But
I like it. It's a good pick.
Get your shit fixed.
It's a good
turf is Achilles' weakness. Okay, all right, I like it a lot. I am also gonna go very historical here. Two names, because I have the wraparound here that you definitely both know. But my first round pick, I'm gonna go with Julius Caesar.
Oh, good pick.
Julius Caesar from the Roman Empire. He would be really, really good at hot dog eating contests. But
did you say a hot dog eating contest?
Yeah, you're really good at hot dog eating contests.
Okay.
You'd be terrible at any team sport.
Explain yourself.
Yeah.
I just get the feeling that his teammates would turn on him.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there you go. That's fair. Yeah, as soon as he's in the lead, man, they're gonna be stabbing him in the back a little bit. You say?
Yeah. Just leave the blind side completely unblocked.
Yeah.
A brilliant tactician, but he didn't check his blind spot. Yeah, I like that. I wanna try to understand the hot dog eating contest. I'm assuming it's because you're picturing someone being fed grapes and shit.
Yeah, I'll see how fucking fat that dude was.
Everyone around him fed him hot dogs.
Do you realize that the depiction of him like that is so bizarre? That guy was actually a military genius. But yeah, that's a fantastic pick.
I mean, you can be fat and be a military genius.
That's true.
And be good at hot dog eating contests, but be bad at team sports.
I will say, he looked fat compared to Augustus Caesar, who was a sickly man. So
you're thinking of Augustus Bloop.
Augustus Gloop, however, was
another historical figure.
Gloop, yeah,
damn, Augustus Gloop was on my board. Shit, not using him now.
You get the wraparound.
That's my first round pick. For my second round pick, I'm gonna go with Karl Marx. He'd be really good at team sports, but horrible at hot dog eating contests.
Oh my gosh. The ultimate combo. The yin and yang of sport.
Oh.
I'm gonna use that next time. I'll be like, you and me, we're killing it, man. You're like Julius Caesar. I'm like Karl Marx.
He's like, how do I practice? I have no food.
That one went without saying.
We're a good team.
I was curious where you're going with that. I liked the mirrored effect. That made it so much better.
Okay, I got a lot to follow up there.
You do.
I'm gonna have to bring out a big heavy hitter here. I'm gonna go with gnomes.
What?
Gnomes, obviously, specifically Elwood the gnome. Yeah, he's a historical figure.
I'm very lost. I thought we were talking about real people.
Gnomes are real, EPR.
Real people, historical figures.
They're real. Gnomes are real. They used to, whenever they do things, they'd stack on each other's shoulders whenever they needed to get somewhere really high. So, he would run to somewhere, stop. The guy would jump on his shoulders, stop. Jump on his shoulders, stop. And suddenly he's 9 feet tall. Therefore, he'd be great at ultimate frisbee. So, you throw that thing up, and it's like watching someone build a Lego tower. They just go doot 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 doot.
It's like cup stacking.
Yeah.
Yep. So gnomes, very
classic,
good,
historical
classic.
figure.
Elwood the gnome, big guy. But that being said, they're not very good with angles with the stacking. They'd be pretty bad at 8-ball pool. So they can't get the lean down. The first guy, he's not tall enough to look over the table. Second guy falls off the shoulders when he tries to get a look over the cube. So it just doesn't work. Doesn't fit.
That was a very classic Amesy pick, being not
Gnomes,
even
man.
close to the rules of engagement. What the hell?
Dude, no, gnomes are real.
Historical
you've heard of 'em.
figure.
You've heard of them, right, EPR?
Oh my
Have you
gosh.
heard of a gnome?
Have you heard of history? Have you heard of gnomes? They're part of history. It's apples and oranges. I mean,
I'm
come on.
sorry. I'm sorry. You lost my vote on that one. Just because you picked gnomes. I liked your reasonings. That part was great. I didn't like your subject.
I think you're just salty because you had gnomes on your board.
I did not. I did not. As you'll hear here, I have two. I'm gonna have the last of the second round and then the wraparound.
Yep.
And this one might be a little controversial for you guys, so brace yourselves. But I've got Anne Frank on my board, and
Okay.
I think she would be really good at gymnastics. I just think
Gymnastics?
she has to fit
What?
into tight spaces. Kind of, she looks like someone that would be, I don't know, pretty flexible in that aspect. But she would be
That's
really
fair.
bad at hide and seek because there's no room for second place.
Oh man, that's true. That's true. So I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard that Bert Kreischer is a bit where he thought that Anne Frank and Helen Keller were the same person,
Yeah.
I was thinking of Helen Keller, and I was like, what sport is he gonna choose for her? And I was like, gymnastics? What, are you gonna put her on a bar? She's not walking across that thing. Anne Frank makes a lot more sense.
Oh man. Yes. So I'm sorry to throw that one out there, but it had to be said.
No. So, real quick, this is not my pick, but my wife had a really funny one with Helen Keller. I chose not to put it in my list, but I'm going to say it anyways. So she said Helen Keller would be really good at table tennis, but really bad at real tennis because of the grunting.
Oh no!
It's
All
all
right,
sound
well,
based.
that was a good Anne Frank Helen Keller pick there, EPR. That was okay. That was
I'll take
okay.
the EPR.
Not as good as gnomes,
I'll-
but pretty good.
There was no Helen Keller aspect to that. I don't know what you're talking about. Only you twisted it that way. Just pure Anne Frank. You could sprinkle a little Otto in there if you
I
want.
said Anne Frank, right? You're fucking with my brain now.
You said Helen Keller.
Oh my god, I said Helen Keller. She
Yeah.
meant Anne Frank. Yeah.
Oh.
The noise
And then I
volume.
was like, why? How is she good at table tennis?
That's what I was
What
trying
am
to
I
think of.
missing here?
Oh man! All
I
right,
didn't-
Bert Kreischer, we get where you're coming from.
They're pretty much the same person.
I'll be honest,
Therefore,
Big Mo.
EPR
When after you said that, I was just like, I'm gonna give you a pity laugh, but I have absolutely no clue what you mean by that. So we're gonna
Oh,
move
man.
on.
Yeah, that made no sense. That made no sense. I meant Anne Frank.
I liked the EPR. I like EPR. I like the Anne Frank aspect. I didn't like the Helen Keller aspect, so I'm just gonna go 50-50 on picking.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on from that one
Oh,
and
my
concentrate
gosh.
on something else. We have as my last pick FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt,
Okay.
and you guys may have heard of it. There's the All-American Soapbox Derby World Championship. I think he'd be really good at it. I think you put him in that thing. That guy's gonna guide and steer that thing to the finish line. He'll get through it, right? But I personally think he's gonna be really bad about at just about anything that needs legs. And yes, that does include my parlays.
Wow. That's pretty good. You know, I like the reasoning. However, I am going to have to go to the rule book here because, as we all know,
The rule book from
Soapbox
Gnomes.
Derby. The Soapbox Derby car weight shall not exceed 200 pounds. With the wheelchair, he's over the 200-pound limit. He's out of there.
He wouldn't be in the wheelchair. That would be his
Just be
ride.
flopping down the hill.
No, that would be his ride. That's his car.
But the car cannot exceed 45 pounds.
Okay, I think he qualifies. They're gonna
He's
pick
gonna
him
have
up
to get a
and
real lightweight wheelchair. I don't know. I think he's flopping down the hill.
I think the guy coming with the answer of gnomes has no room to speak on this pick.
Okay, first off, gnomes are real. Gnome's a place in Alaska. I mean, come on.
Oh my
I was gonna
gosh.
make a gnome Alaska joke, and I was like, oh, maybe it's named after someone that's named Gnome. I looked it up.
Wrong spelling too. It's Nome.
It's Nome, but I looked it up, and it said, oh fuck. All right, pause real quick.
No.
Oh wait, the fuck.
You know what? The gnomes probably erased his memory.
Yeah, you probably.
All right. Well, first off, I'm just saying gnomes are real. And I just want to put that out there for our listeners. There are some things that are real, some things that aren't. Gnomes are, they're the credited sources here.
I can't even find it now. It was like some British dude that had the worst name ever, and it was like, yeah, he came up with the name.
That was the guy that left us the review.
It probably was.
It probably was.
And I don't even want to say his name now. So fuck
Yeah.
you,
Big Mo.
English-
You need to work on your nomenclature. All right. Anyways, so gnomes. With this pick right here, final pick of the round, you may realize why I was fighting for gnomes really hard because my third pick, I am going to be going with the Loch Ness monster. He's real.
Classic historical figure.
He's a historical figure. He's had a lot of gritty camera photos.
He?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
exactly. It's been proven.
So what's he
first
good and
off-
bad at?
Well, he's great at basketball. I mean, that guy's a walking double-double. I mean, you know, on the offensive
Wouldn't he be a
boards,
swimming double-double? What are you talking about?
No, he's flopping around on the surface, but he's got a 20-foot neck, so he's going up there for all the offensive boards. Just wah, wah, wah. You know, he might lose a couple brain cells, but we're not taking him on the team for basketball IQ. We're taking him on the team because he's 25 feet tall.
Fair.
So, I mean, you know, you thought that Wemby was big. Loch Ness Monster, he's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, Nessie versus Wimby.
Yeah.
I'm taking Nessie.
That being said, there are some weaknesses. He does not have opposable thumbs, nor an ability to grip anything with his flippers. Therefore, he's pretty bad at all racket sports. He just, he can't get that handle, and it's a bit of a troublesome to do the racket sports without being able to hold the racket. So everyone's got their pros and cons. A walking double pretty much, but yeah, no racket sports for Nessie.
Question.
That's why pickleball has grown so much. Because Nessie's not out there just dominating everything.
Exactly.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
I have kind of two questions to this. For one, how do you know he doesn't have opposable thumbs?
Because I've seen him. Haven't you seen the pictures? Have you seen the flippers?
It only shows the top half. But I'll okay.
Yeah, I got some photos to show you after the stream.
Please do. I will say he's going to be really good at avoiding paparazzi because they're never going to get a good picture.
True.
Of him. But my second question is couldn't he just use his flipper as the paddle?
No, actually, I looked to the guidebook on this, and you have to use a league given racket.
Okay, that's fair.
And human extremities, and therefore I assume Nessie extremities are not allowed.
Sure.
So really big Loch Ness Monster discrimination in the racket sports world, but we'll roll with it. You can't be good at everything.
Yeah. I won't think too much further into that one, but solid pick.
Yeah. Thank you.
Big Mo, how about you finish us out? From the fucking fantasy world Blues Clues over here. Let's...
Yeah. Oh, you took it. I was going to say Steve from Blues Clues.
Damn it!
Dude, that guy's good at nothing.
Couch sitting.
No. For real though, with the final pick of the snake draft, I'm gonna go with William Wallace. So I don't know if you guys know this. I know that there's a lot of folklore out there about William Wallace, about how big he was. Everyone would always talk about that guy's fucking huge. But basically, everyone kind of believes that he's 6'7", and the only reason that they believe that he's 6'7" was because he used this giant fucking claymore sword, and scientists are just like, yeah, no chance he's under 6'7". So obviously, because of his sheer size, William Wallace would be great at chess.
course.
Obviously, yeah. That was my first
Obviously.
thought too.
And the sport that he'd be terrible at would be basketball, because he was from back in the day before it was cool to be a white Euro that was giant and good at basketball. So pre giant white Euro basketball guy. So yeah, great at chess, terrible at basketball.
And I will
Nice.
say, Big Mo, he was kind of already leading the charge with like the really baggy shorts that the NBA adopted, through the '90s. Those
With his
kilts are
kilt.
pretty
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're-
they did require a little bit of more under protection just in
Sure.
case there's a charging or blocking foul.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want LeBron's dong just flopping out there on the middle of Los Angeles Lakers floor. So yeah, that's an update from when William Wallace was around.
Will
Yeah.
William Wallace, would he be okay wearing shorts?
I don't know. Maybe that would have hurt his chess game. I don't know.
Exactly. he needs the air to be flowing so he thinks clearly.
Well, that
All
was
right,
those are some picks.
Yeah, a lot of strong ones. We obviously know who won, but we don't have to say it.
No. What we are gonna do, because beef did leave us, which I
Yes.
totally get. I wouldn't want to hang around with us for too long.
Yeah.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it up to you guys. We'll let you guys send in, whatever kind of voicemails
Yeah,
Yeah.
send in.
and choose a winner for us.
Yeah.
Do we want to do a quick recap? Just so the listeners have our 3 picks.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I've got
PPR, list off all 3.
just the names or what they're good at.
Yeah, just the names.
So mine was Winston Churchill, Anne Frank, and FDR.
Okay, I had gnomes, Achilles, and the Loch Ness monster.
That's so fucking stupid. You can't see I'm shaking my head right now just hearing that.
I was gonna say something when you said Achilles, and I was like, "Was he real?" And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Big Mo, what's yours? What's yours?
No, mine were Julius Caesar, Karl Marx, and William Wallace.
Okay.
That's a good list. That's a
All
good lineup.
real
All right.
historical figures.
Yeah.
Very, very real.
Yes, and
Just as real as the next segment
Well-
that we're about to go into. EPR, what'd you say?
I was gonna say, as mentioned, leave us some voicemails because I found this out from our lawyers. I didn't know this at the time, guys. I'm sorry, but we are actually legally obligated to listen to every single one. Did you know that?
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it doesn't really matter what you send in. We do have to hear it, and we'll probably call you out on it. But we do appreciate you contributing to our success and also voting on a winner.
Yeah, if you're like crazy positive or crazy stupid and British, we might even bring put the voicemail in the pod. So
I thought we just listened to all of them because we were desperate. I didn't realize it was legal. So
No, it is
glad
legal,
we've been
yeah.
doing it. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
desperate and legal. So
we're legally desperate.
Legally desperate. Yeah.
Well,
But you know
I'm
what isn't
curious-
legally desperate? This next segment. It's rock solid.
It's desperate in another way. No, Amesy's already alluded to it. It's been another fan favorite from season 1. It's the ashtray. Ale, let's go.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling good.
So
Nice.
this is the first episode that you've ever listened to. We do a segment every single week called the Ashtray Parlay, and basically the thought process behind this was that we know a lot of smokers out there. We know that they're all fiends. I've watched a bunch of different smokers just start digging through trash, looking for everything, so
Like
that
Big
they
Dick.
can get to that one. Yeah, just like most of the times that I've said this, it's been Big Dick doing it. But
Like
yeah,
Bobby Petrino.
I've seen him. Yeah, Bobby Petrino, I'm sure, digs through trash looking for cigarettes. But no, Big Dick probably 95% of the times that I've seen true fiend mentality looking for that one unsmoked Marlboro. So if you're like us you listened to all of season 1, and you got to the point where you realized there's nothing left to bet on. I mean, there's a couple hockey games left, but after that, it's just golf and baseball
Tennis.
and tennis and maybe the Tour de France. If I'm
Tour
going
de France, Tour de France.
me into betting
Let's
a bunch of
go.
money on it and then losing, and then he tells me not to bet on this one, or he doesn't tell me.
I didn't tell you.
And then he wins.
It was great.
He wins the one bet he doesn't tell me, but he tells me all the losing bets.
Made all my money back.
So yeah, if you're desperate like I was last summer trying to bet on the Tour de France, this parlay might just be for you. So we're looking at kind of a bleak options here. me and Amesy, we were sitting here, we were racking our brains. I had a couple futures bet put together in an ashtray parlay, but that's not fun because you guys are fiends. You guys are fiends. You want your cigarettes right now.
I'm
I'm
itching.
gonna be able to pay for all those cigarettes with this one parlay. You just put $1 on it. That's like one cigarette now. I don't know. Maybe you live in Canada. It's like thought of a cigarette. I don't know. But no, you put all your money on this, you're probably gonna lose it. So just put $1. Maybe just $1. But Amesy, we're thinking how
It's only 7 legs.
it's only
It's only 7 legs.
How do we create
It's super possible.
how do we create value for you listeners out there that are fiending for those Marlboros? And we decided that we were gonna pick a bunch of top 10 bets for the Travelers Open Classic or Travelers Championship. Sorry, wrong. I'm thinking of Amesy's type of golf events just made up. But the Travelers Championship
Messi is real.
We
Carry
were-
on.
we were going to do all 10 of the top 10. Guess what? The sports book wouldn't let us. We're 7 out of the top 10 in the Travelers Championship. This is PGA Golf. So, starting off at the top, we got Scotty Scheffler, the man that got arrested down in the South. They don't know who he is, but they do know who he is down in the Travelers Championship, currently in first. That's a pretty solid one. We got Colin Morikawa. He's not in first, but he's close.
And he's good.
And he's good.
Yeah.
We got Ludvig Aberg, this Swede. He's doing pretty well. He did fall apart in the U.S. Open, but who gives a shit? Maybe it'll change this week. Still put your money on this. Then we got Victor Hovland, another Scandinavian blooded man who's also very good at golf, but not recently. But he's doing well this tournament.
Norway.
Then we got Ricky Fowler. Everyone loves Ricky Fowler. So
American.
you have to put him in there. Everyone loves him. You just got to put him in there. Hideki Matsuyama. He's in there. He's doing well. He's pretty fucking good at golf. And then finally, we got Akshay Bhatia. This guy has been buzzing. If you guys put $1 on this ashtray parlay, $1 wins you $329.90. That's a lot of cigarettes, boys. That's a lot of Marlboros.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So
Freaking lock.
that is that out of all of those bets, where do they have to place?
They all just have to
Top 10.
place top 10.
Top 10. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
So 7
So
out of the top
7?
10 spaces.
I have to call 7
That's
out of the time.
That is how the odds increase.
That's how the math works. Wow. That parlay has 7 more useful legs than FDR. I like it.
Nice.
Oh man. Well, so that wraps up all of our segments for our listeners out there. Again, big special thanks to all of you. Big special thanks to all the guests. We're
And
gonna be
beef.
doing a little bit of time and beef. Beef is one of a kind. He's rare.
Oh shit. That caught me off guard. Oh, I feel bad for even laughing at that. That was so stupid. It was
No, big thank you,
rare.
Beef. Big thank you to all our listeners and all of our guests. Basically, what we're going to be doing for you guys, if you've made it to this point, that means
Probably
that you
haven't.
probably care what's going to be going on. We're going to have a slight off season during this, kind of low gambling months. Maybe we'll be bringing, some recurring segments back. We might be trying some new things
New
out.
segments, and we'll see kind of how they go throughout the off season, and then we're gonna kind of make season 2 out of hearing what our listeners like the best, and bring back of course the classics. Of course we're gonna have some version of betting. We're gonna have the ashtray. We're gonna have the snake draft, but we might be throwing some new stuff in there as well.
Which
And
I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong. That'll be around August timeframe, right? When more of the sports are coming back.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to try and plan and shoot for the beginning of the NFL football season. I'll give you guys a little bit of a teaser. It might involve fantasy football.
Ooh.
So that's all I'm going to say for now. We still got to hash it out outside of the pod. You guys don't care about listening to that. But we have a lot of stuff planned. We really appreciate all of you. And with that, boys, you think we call it?
I think so. Alrighty.
See ya!